Sports Analytics Conference. In fact, we are live here at the Jump. We are so excited for this show today. Buckle in for 90 minutes. All the cool people are here. You saw that a little bit in the open.
Yes.
And right now I'm thrilled to be joined by one Mr. Paul Pierce, who is Mr. Boston, if you didn't know. And thank you, Mr. Philadelphia, for joining us as well. Sixers co-owner Michael Rubin, thank you so much for being here. We're going to talk in a minute because Michael and I were on a panel together with Meek Mill this morning. We're going to get into a little bit what we were talking about. We're also going to be talking about LeBron James, who says, if you come at the king, you best not miss. We'll be talking about his comments on defense as well. But I do want to get into some little Sixers talk with you, Michael, right off the front. Look, there are a lot of colorful personalities on your team, and we have been talking about...
We have colorful personalities?
Just a few.
Nah.
Just a few.
Turned into one of the most
shy,
interesting...
quiet guys.
Well, you can see right now the video that we're running.
Yeah, that was my video.
Instagram. Yeah. And you and Joel have become quite friends. That is Atlantis in the Bahamas. And I got to say, I just right off the bat, please explain, most owners of sports teams would not be encouraging their prize star to go down a, 100-foot water slide? You're calling him chicken because he didn't do it.
I mean, in all fairness, the water was 2 feet deep. I did become concerned when he was literally drowning, and I said, Joe, just get on your knees. You're gonna be okay. And he was literally like, I thought he was joking or being funny. He's literally in 2 feet of water, and he's like, just like you're gonna swim, but he can't swim. So he's like hyperventilating. Like, Joe, get on your knees, and then he survived.
He did survive.
Yeah, we almost lost him to 2 feet of water. I mean, the babies at 5 years old were fine, but Joel was struggling mightily.
Come on, thousands of kids get on that every day.
My daughter went down when she was 5 years old.
I'm just saying, I love how you said it took 37 minutes to get him to go on there. When you talk about, Paul, the relationships between stars and ownership, how much of a difference does it make to players if they can be close like this with one of the team owners, and if they have a problem or an issue, it's not just calling cold, that kind of thing?
I mean, I think it's awesome because, you have to, especially with your franchise players, guys that are going to be around a while, you have a great relationship, and even if it comes down to a situation you develop a friendship, or it comes to a situation where you develop a trade and somebody you can talk to, and you guys have a good understanding for one another, and you understand at the end of the day it's a business. And I just think it makes for a great team environment. I think, Mark Cuban was one of the first ones that really embraced his players. He would come down to practice, he made it comfortable for everybody, and then I think all the other owners saw that and said, that's great for the game. And it's awesome when you can have that type of relationship with an owner. So
next we're going to see
at the end of the day, you guys are partners.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you guys work together, you're partners, so why not?
Yeah, what's great is when it's natural. I mean, for me, it's completely authentic. I love Joel. He's like a brother, Ben's incredible. I mean, these are real relationships that get built over time. I'm just getting to know some of the new guys. But it's, look, I always say in business and life, relationships are everything. And if you have an authentic relationship, then good times are easy to get through. But when times are tough, it always helps.
It's
in anything you do.
It's something about these Philadelphia owners. It seems like they love that. Remember Pat Croce?
Absolutely.
He was exactly the same way.
Yep, absolutely.
Pat's my guy. I grew up with Pat. He was actually, I joke about it all the time. I met Pat when I was, 14 years old. He invested in my first I'm doing.
The fact that you're willing to wade into this, and there's people on both sides of the political spectrum that want to fix this, the fact that the Brooklyn Nets ownership is, the fact that, frankly, Paul, Meek Mill came and performed at the All-Star game, and that the NBA is a league that would put somebody who is now pretty much the face of criminal justice reform front and center at the All-Star game, that you have owners like Michael willing to wade into this. What does that mean to you as someone who's part of the NBA family?
Well, the NBA, I think, are leaps and bounds ahead of the other leagues as far as allowing the players to really voice their opinion about this,
encouraging them to.
And encouraging it. So when you had a chance to see LeBron and CP and Carmelo on the stage of the ESPYs, D Wade really stand for something. And I love the fact that Adam Silver allows the players to have a voice on these types of subjects. And so it's a start. Maybe the other leagues can fall in line to what's really going on and really get the information. And, because sports players are very inspirational. They, people follow their league. They have a great influence, and especially in the NBA. We don't wear helmets or masks.
Yep.
So people recognize us. We're the most recognizable sports figures in the world. And, it's important for us to use our voice in the right way.
So I got to tell you a story that I probably shouldn't tell, but it's one I think you really appreciate. So Meek got sentenced November 6, 2017. It was for me this out-of-body, surreal experience. I couldn't believe what had happened. And one of my first phone calls was to Adam Silver. And I called Adam the following morning. I said, Adam, look, you've met Meek through me several times. This is one of my closest friends. I just want you to know I have to take a stand and help get him out of prison and fix this problem, because this is an innocent guy that just got sent to prison for absolutely no reason. And Adam said to me, Michael, I've known you 20 years. I know you've got good judgment. If this is what you believe is right, you've got our full support. I then called Josh Harris, who's the managing partner of the Sixers. I said, Josh, look, I got to tell you something. The NBA is going to get brought into this. The Sixers are going to get brought into this.
Right.
But you guys, you know him well. You know he shouldn't be in this situation. And Josh said, Michael, we're all behind you. You do whatever you got to do. And I got to tell you something. Being in that situation was so special, because to have Adam, to have Josh, to have everyone behind us from day one allowed us to take a very aggressive approach. And I got to tell you something. If it wasn't for the NBA, the Sixers, Meek would still be in prison today. And I hate saying that, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
And so we did, and there were so many players, whether it was Joel, who I took to prison for the first time, by the way, that was an experience in itself.
You think he was scared on the water slide? I heard that.
I've never seen someone literally look like a ghost. He was terrified to go into prison. I took Ben and Markelle Fultz a week later. They came. They gave huge support behind me. James Harden wanted to come in to see him. So many NBA players. LeBron kept reaching out saying, how can I help? The NBA was behind Meek in a huge way, and that's why he's not in prison today. They helped bring great visibility to this show.
That's amazing. Well, Michael, thank you so much for stopping by. You can look into the Reform Alliance on the internet. There's a ton of available information. And first, I want to also let you know, before we let you off the stage here, we'll be back after this break. But here's what the Jump recommends for today. If you go to SloanSportsConference.com, you can check out the panel we did with Meek Mill this morning, streaming through there, and we're going to play a little excerpt for you too. Here's just a little bit of what we talked about.
I always say America has two sides to it. You got a world of an urban world where people like me come from, and we grew up on the other side. For say, if Michael came in the courtroom for busting a U-turn in a car, it'll be more likely for me to go to prison than Michael Rubin to go to prison. So, I was just, as we became friends, I used to take him to the step-by-steps and just really explain the things that I went through to make it here and the things that people where I come from go to on a daily basis.
That was an excerpt from Zach Lowe's 10 Things I Like and Don't Like, and I'm thrilled that we now have Zach Lowe in the flesh. Paul's right there. You can have the argument with him. But first, I also got to introduce the general manager of the Houston Rockets, Daryl Morey, and the co-founder with Jessica Gelman of the Sloan Sports Analytics Conference. I was supposed to ask you some sort of nice softball question about how much the conference
That's not you. You went to Northwestern. Go straight to
Northwestern Wildcat here
Yes.
about how much the conference has grown, and Barack Obama was the keynote speaker here last year and all of that. But instead, I just got to open with, why do you still have a beard? Because you promised all of us that you would shave it when James Harden's 30-point streak
That's
ended.
what I thought I heard.
And really,
it's the 28-point per game streak. He's chasing Wilt. He's at 44 games, I think. So
Shifting the goalpost. A lot of white in the beard. Are you disturbed by how much white's in the beard?
wow.
I think each white hair is, a sign of intelligence.
It's wisdom.
Okay,
there's a
wisdom,
player.
exactly.
Dwight Howard is
Wisdom.
responsible for some of that
Paul
in there.
only has
There's some of
one.
that.
I think he's just got one in there.
I need a microscope.
Well, we're talking about James Harden and the streak or no streak. 58 points last night. He's been piling up such a tremendous scoring clip all season. Give me your MVP case. You are here on national television. Give it to us. Why should he win MVP this year again?
Have you seen our team? We have nobody available all year. We've had guys in and out, and thank goodness we're more or less healthy. Although we had 3 major guys out yesterday again. When we were under 500, and James said, "I'm putting this team on my back. I'm in my prime. We're going to win this title this year." And I think we're 23-11 or something like that while he was during the streak. So I don't know what else you're supposed to do. And I think he's chasing Michael Jordan's record for points per game, the non-Wilt record.
The non-Wilt record, yeah.
The non-Wilt record, yeah.
Right.
But it's like Cy. They should put Wilt in a whole, Cy Young. No one talks about him anymore. Wilt should be put there, and this is the modern record.
Well, this is one of the guys you have to convince. Paul, you've said that on your MVP list, Giannis is first right now in terms of where things are.
Well, based on the NBA, based on the criteria on what we place the MVP as every year, it's usually the best player on the best team. But look, if James Harden does not win the MVP this year, he may go down in history as one of the greatest second-place vote getters
He already
of
has
all
that,
time.
though.
No, but look what he's had to face in three of the
We're
last,
sick of second place in Houston.
3 of the last 5 years, he's finished second, first, second, and only due to a historic season from Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Another season, Russell Westbrook averages a triple-double. He finishes second. And now he has to face Antetokounmpo. I mean, this guy realistically could be on his 3rd or 4th MVP.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I respect the Giannis pick. It's winning. You picked Kawhi that one year.
2 years ago,
I think you have to win and be amazing. You have to have both. So I respect those other picks, but I think James is
Can you handicap where you think the race is right now?
I think.
Who are you voting for,
I
Zach?
don't know who I'm voting for. First of all, I think it's a 3-man race. I think Paul George is in the race. He's not just in the conversation.
He's in the actual race. Yeah.
He's in the race. I think right now Giannis would win. I think a lot of voters would default to best record, best player.
If
it's close, then
that's
then
usually
give it
what it goes by, and I don't necessarily always agree by it, because if it didn't go by that, then hands down, what James Harden is doing.
Replay. It's this date, 2011, and it's featuring. I got to look at my little piece of paper. It's the Heatles.
Especially some of the key pieces of Dwayne Wade with another steal. 3-on-1. James. LeBron drops the anvil. Holy smokes. You kidding me? The way they get out in transition from defense to offense